The earth rests within the blackness of space like a lullaby suspended in silence. It turns without sound, a sphere wrapped in soft blues and muted greens, glowing faintly beneath the golden brushstrokes of sunlight. To the human eye, it is a planet filled with noise, winds tearing across deserts, waves colliding with shores, thunder cracking in distant valleys. Yet beneath those surface murmurs lies something more delicate, something so deeply woven into its structure that it becomes invisible, the calm rhythm of existence itself. The story of Earth is not only one of survival, of struggle, of volcanic fire and tectonic fury. It is equally a story of serenity, a story of balance that allows the eyelids to lower and the mind to soften, because the physics of this place have arranged themselves into a harmony rare in the cosmos. For amid the violent churn of galaxies, the collapse of stars, and the icy black void of interstellar space, Earth carries a gentle pulse like the quiet heartbeat of a living being. Imagine drifting above the planet, far enough away that its continents blur into a single swirl of color. From here, the atmosphere is a translucent veil, almost imperceptible, bending light into a haze of blues that soothe the senses. Oceans glisten, catching the sun like a slow tide of liquid sapphire. This view is no accident, no random splash of color on cosmic canvas. It is the geometry of physics and chemistry, shaped into a kind of perfection. At its core, Earth is not simply a planet, it is a natural lullaby, a cradle drifting in orbit. Its rotation keeps day and night cycling at a pace that matches human rest. Its atmosphere filters the ferocity of sunlight into a palette soft enough for life. Its oceans murmur with an unending hush that resonates like eternal music. Gravity holds every leaf, every droplet, every creature gently in place, while the moon whispers its pull across the seas, rocking them like a child's cradle. Every calm breath you take is written into the equations that define this world. Every quiet moment is an echo of balance sustained for billions of years. Here is the mystery. Why is Earth so uniquely soothing, so perfectly tuned to the rhythms that invite life to rest? In this silence, the Earth begins to sing. Long before the word Earth existed, long before language itself, water began shaping the face of this planet. Oceans spread like an endless cradle, their weight pressing against the crust, their rhythm carving valleys and smoothing stones. To drift into the story of Earth is to follow the movement of water, for it has always been both sculptor and song. Billions of years ago, when Earth was still young and violent, comets and asteroids carrying frozen reservoirs of ice collided with its surface. Out of these cosmic impacts came the most calming of elements, liquid water. Unlike the lava rivers or the poisonous gases that once swirled around this world, water cooled, softened, and persisted. It pooled into vast depressions, creating seas that glistened beneath a dimmer Sunday. From the beginning, water became the gentle medium in which life could take its first breathless stirrings. Over epochs, the oceans became storytellers of silence. Waves rose and fell with tidal patterns set by the moon, whispering a rhythm that never ceased. In this undying motion, shorelines were drawn and erased, coral reefs flourished, and currents transported nutrients like invisible veins feeding the body of Earth. Water was more than background, it was the planet's first symphony of calm. Even today, when a human listens to the hush of a shoreline, something deep in their biology responds. It is not mere sound, it is memory. Our ancestors evolved along coasts, in tidal marshes, in estuaries where the meeting of land and water created abundance. The rhythm of waves became the rhythm of survival, and eventually, the rhythm of comfort. Perhaps this is why the ocean's murmur so easily soothes, why it can lull the restless mind into sleep. The oceans also regulate Earth's temperature, spreading warmth from equator to pole, wrapping the planet in a climate of relative stability. Without them, the world would swing wildly between fire and ice. Instead, the seas act as a calming blanket, tempering chaos with balance. It is here, in the ancient cradle of oceans, that Earth first found its voice, not in thunder or eruption, but in the soft continuity of water against stone. Above the oceans, above the forests and plains, there is a silence that is not emptiness but protection. The atmosphere, invisible, transparent, almost weightless to our senses, is in truth a vast, dynamic shield, stretching upward for hundreds of kilometers. To breathe within it is to share in an ancient gift, one that shapes not only life but also the calm of existence itself. It is easy to overlook, for we are immersed in it every moment of our lives. Yet if one were to step outside this delicate veil, the contrast would be stark and immediate. Space is not simply silent, it is lethal. Without the atmosphere, sunlight would strike with unfiltered violence. Temperatures would swing wildly between burning heat and absolute cold, and every breath would be impossible. On Earth, however, this thin envelope of gases holds us gently, like air within the lungs of the planet. The physics of this whispering shell is both simple and astonishing. Nitrogen, making up most of the air, provides the neutral background, a steadying presence. Oxygen, though only a fraction, breathes life into fire and into cells. Argon, carbon dioxide, and water vapor add subtle harmonies regulating heat, cycling energy, creating clouds. Together, these molecules scatter sunlight into the soft blue canopy that humans find inherently calming. It is not an arbitrary color. The scattering of short wavelengths by air particles transforms what would otherwise be a harsh, white blaze into a tranquil dome of blue. The atmosphere is also a great muffler. It softens meteors into streaks of harmless light. It carries winds, not as chaos but as rhythm breezes that sway grass, whisper through leaves, and turn desert dunes into sculptures. Even storms, though violent in their moment, are balanced by stillness that follows, a cycle of cleansing and renewal. The quiet presence of the atmosphere is a kind of cosmic lullaby. It bends sound so that we hear the calls of birds, the hum of insects, the hush of rain. It sustains clouds that drift in contemplative slowness, shading the land, cooling the air, feeding rivers with their patient release. It is a system always in motion, yet its balance is so precise that life not only survives within it, but finds rest. To fall asleep beneath Earth's sky is to lie within a cradle of physics, chemistry, and time, a whisper that has endured for 4 billion years. There is a force so constant, so silent, that it is rarely noticed. Yet without it, no ocean would rest in its basin, no tree would cling to the soil, and no human could sleep without floating endlessly away. Gravity, Earth's gentle embrace, holds all things in place. Though often imagined as an invisible chain binding us downward, its true essence is softer, more poetic. It is the tender weight that cradles life against the planet's skin. Isaac Newton once described it as an attraction between masses, a force pulling every object toward every other. Centuries later, Einstein deepened the mystery, revealing gravity as the curve of space-time itself, an invisible fabric bending around Earth's mass. To live within this curvature is to live within a well of calm stability. Gravity does not shout. It whispers, always present, always steady, guiding raindrops to the ground, steering rivers to the sea, and drawing the tides back to shore. Consider the rhythms gravity enables. The heart beats not in defiance of weight, but because of it, pumping blood in cycles adapted to Earth's pull. Muscles form their strength against it. Bones grow dense within its pressure. Even the comfort of lying down, the sensation of sinking into a bed, the peace of rest exists because gravity offers direction. Up and down are not arbitrary. They are gifts of the planet's mass, grounding us in orientation and stability. In orbit, astronauts often describe sleep as different, fragmented, untethered. Without gravity, dreams float uneasily, bodies drift against walls, and rest becomes a challenge. On Earth, by contrast, slumber is effortless because the body knows where it belongs. Gravity does not simply hold us, it reassures us. It is the silent certainty that beneath every step, beneath every pause, the ground will be there. On the cosmic scale, Earth's gravitational balance is rare. Too weak, and the atmosphere would vanish into space. Too strong, and life as we know it could not breathe, move, or thrive. Instead, the planet sits in a delicate middle ground, a perfect compromise between weight and freedom. That balance is not loud, not dramatic. It is the quiet physics of safety. Gravity is the unseen hand that steadies a cradle, rocking slowly, endlessly, without pause. It is the reason rain falls, rivers flow, trees stand, and humans sleep. On Earth, gravity is not a burden, it is a lullaby. Beneath the crust of Earth, far below mountains and seas, lies a silent and hidden engine, the planet's molten heart. From it emerges an invisible guardian, the magnetic field. To most, it is unseen, unfelt, unconsidered. Yet without it, Earth's serenity would be stripped away by cosmic winds, and the calm balance of life would collapse into silence of another kind. This magnetic shield is born from movement. Within Earth's outer core, liquid iron and nickel churn like an immense ocean of fire, spinning in rhythm with the planet's rotation. This motion generates currents, and from those currents rises magnetism, an invisible cocoon stretching far into space. Like a heartbeat, it pulses endlessly, steady and unbroken for billions of years. Its role is profoundly protective. Beyond our atmosphere lies a ceaseless stream of particles hurled outward by the sun, the solar wind. These charged fragments travel at incredible speeds, and without defense, they would strip Earth's atmosphere in a geological instant. Mars, once thought to have oceans and air, bears witness to this truth. With its weak or vanished magnetic field, it lost its shield, and its surface became barren, lifeless, and silent. On Earth, however, the magnetic field deflects these storms. Particles are caught and guided toward the poles, where they paint the sky with auroras, shimmering curtains of light that flicker green, red, and violet. What might have been chaos becomes beauty, danger transformed into wonder. The field does more than guard from radiation. It stabilizes compasses, guides migration of birds and whales, and sets orientation in the silent geometry of life. Beneath awareness, countless organisms feel its direction, aligning their journeys with Earth's unseen lines. In this way, the magnetic field is both shield and whisper, a background presence that grants order to chaos. To rest within Earth's magnetic embrace is to lie beneath an unseen heartbeat. It does not announce itself in sound or light, yet it surrounds every dream, every breath, every step. The quiet of the night sky, the safety of the air, the stability of the climate all depend on this invisible pulse, rising from molten depths. And so, as the planet turns, its core spins too, generating protection in silence. Like a steady lull in a storm, the magnetic field is Earth's hidden guardian, a heartbeat we do not hear, but that keeps our cradle safe in the dark sea of space. Every 24 hours, Earth performs a simple act of grace. It turns. Slowly, steadily, without pause, it rotates on its axis, dividing light from darkness, weaving cycles of activity and rest. What might appear ordinary is in fact one of the most soothing rhythms of all, the alternation of day and night, a cosmic pendulum that has trained life itself to breathe in patterns of wakefulness and sleep. The length of this rotation is not arbitrary. Billions of years ago, when Earth spun much faster, days lasted only a handful of hours. But tidal interactions with the moon gradually slowed the spin, stretching time into the day we now know. Life evolved in lockstep with this deceleration, adapting to its rhythm, attuning metabolism, behavior, and thought to the steady alternation of light and shadow. What was once chaotic became predictable, and predictability became calm. When sunlight rises, the world stirs into motion. Plants open their leaves, animals emerge from dens, and humans rise with the pale glow. As night falls, the sky darkens, and the Earth's surface cools, signaling rest. This pattern, etched into every living cell, is called the circadian rhythm, a biological clock synchronized not by mechanical gears but by the planet's rotation itself. Every heartbeat, every breath, every dream is influenced by this turning cycle. There is poetry in the precision. The Earth rotates at just the right pace, not so fast that days blur in confusion, not so slow that one side burns in endless sun while the other freezes in endless dark. Instead, balance prevails. The planet rocks gently in this spin, offering regularity, offering rest. Night itself is a gift of the rotation. Stars become visible, the atmosphere cools, silence deepens. Sleep is possible not merely because of biology, but because the planet provides a canvas of darkness against which the body and mind surrender. Without rotation, there would be no nightfall, no restful pause, no dream. The turning of Earth is more than mechanics. It is the heartbeat of time on this planet, the hidden metronome that sets the tempo for life. Every sunrise is a beginning, every sunset a gentle call to stillness. In the endless silence of space, Earth's rotation is a cradle rocking back and forth slowly, endlessly, serenely. Beneath our feet, the ground is never still. The continents on which civilizations rise and fall are not fixed but slowly drifting, carried on vast plates of stone that float upon molten currents deep below. To human eyes, the motion is imperceptible, mere centimeters each year, yet across the ages. This silent shifting has sculpted mountains, carved oceans, and rearranged the face of Earth. It is a slowness so profound that it feels almost like the planet's breath, deep, patient, unhurried. The theory of plate tectonics, once radical, now explains this hidden choreography. The crust of the Earth is divided into great slabs, carried along by the slow circulation of heat from the core. Where plates meet, mountains rise, trenches form, and earthquakes occasionally announce the tension of their meeting. But the deeper story is not one of violence alone. Over billions of years, this drift has created balance. Continents have merged into supercontinents and broken apart again, altering climates, steering ocean currents, and providing diversity of landscapes where life could evolve. Imagine the Himalayas, vast and silent, their peaks pressing against the sky. These giants are the frozen evidence of continents colliding, the result of slow forces that continue to push even now. Or think of the Atlantic Ocean, once a mere fracture in a landmass, now a vast expanse whispering with waves. All of this is tectonic patience change, measured not in moments but in eons. For humans, there is comfort in the slowness. Mountains rise so gradually that generations live and die without perceiving change. Coastlines shift so subtly that their movements become legends rather than observations. In this way, tectonics embodies serenity through scale. The violence of an earthquake may shatter moments, but the overarching story is one of deep, calm continents wandering slowly, reshaping Earth in silence. It is as though the planet breathes in geological time, inhaling as continents gather, exhaling as they drift apart. This rhythm, too vast for direct perception, still cradles life within its balance. By recycling carbon, creating new land, and sustaining the cycles of oceans and atmosphere, tectonics sustains Earth's stability. To rest upon the land is to lie upon a moving vessel, yet one so steady in its journey that it feels unmoving. Plate tectonics is Earth's slow exhalation, its timeless pause, a reminder that the ground beneath us is alive and that even in silence, it is always in motion. High above the drifting continents, beyond the reach of forests and mountains, hangs a companion that has never left Earth's side. The moon, silent, pale, and watchful, circles the planet with patient constancy. To the eye it appears gentle, a lantern of night. To physics, it is something far greater, a stabilizing force, a guardian that keeps Earth's balance intact. Its presence was born of violence. Billions of years ago, a Mars-sized body collided with the young Earth, sending molten debris into orbit. That debris coalesced into the moon, and since then it has circled faithfully, its pull shaping the rhythms of oceans and seasons alike. From this ancient accident of gravity emerged serenity. The moon's most visible gift is the tides. Twice each day, the seas rise and fall, drawn by its gravitational tug. These tides are not only motion, they are music. They oxygenate coasts, stir nutrients into the shallows, and create ecosystems of extraordinary diversity. For early life, tidal pools may have been the laboratories of evolution, offering cycles of wet and dry that encouraged adaptation. For humanity, the sound of waves advancing and retreating is an eternal lullaby, a rhythm so constant that it soothes without conscious thought. The moon also steadies Earth's tilt. Without it, the planet would wobble chaotically, its axis swaying like a top. Seasons would become erratic, climates unstable, and life's patterns disrupted. Instead, the moon anchors Earth, holding its tilt at a gentle angle of 23.5 degrees. That angle is the reason spring blossoms and autumn harvests exist, the reason nights and days flow in predictable harmony. Stability is serenity, and the moon ensures it. Even its light, reflected from the sun, carries calm. Soft, silvery, and cool moonlight transforms landscapes into dreamscapes, shadows softened, waters shimmering. For countless generations, humans have looked upward and felt comfort in its glow, weaving myths, prayers, and songs around its presence. The moon is not merely rock, it is rhythm, anchor, and poetry. To lie beneath its light is to rest in the arms of a guardian. The moon, born of chaos, became serenity's emblem, a silent partner that steadies Earth's cradle as it drifts through the darkness of space. Earth leans slightly, as though tilting its head in quiet contemplation. This 23.5-degree inclination of the axis might seem trivial, yet it is the reason seasons exist, the reason the planet's surface is not locked in uniform monotony. Out of this small tilt emerges a vast, soothing rhythm, the slow symphony of the seasons. As the planet orbits the sun, different hemispheres lean toward or away from the light. The result is not chaos, but patterned change. Spring rises with blossoms, summer matures in warmth, autumn fades into golden decline, and winter settles in silence. This sequence is not abrupt, it unfolds like a long, unhurried breath. To live upon Earth is to be carried along in this oscillation of renewal and rest, a rhythm as dependable as the heartbeat of gravity itself. The physics is elegant. Were Earth upright, equatorial regions would forever burn, polar regions forever freeze, and the balance of climates that nourishes life would vanish. Instead, the tilt distributes energy with exquisite variation. Crops flourish in cycles, Animals migrate in arcs of predictability, and human cultures have built calendars, rituals, and myths upon the turning wheel of seasons. There is serenity in this repetition. Each season brings a familiar return: the hush of snowfall, the chorus of spring birds, the heavy hum of summer insects, the whisper of autumn leaves falling to the ground. Each arrival is anticipated, yet never hurried. The seasons move slowly, steadily, teaching patience through their constancy. Astronomers note that this stability, too, is anchored by the moon. Without its steadying pull, Earth's tilt could swing wildly, throwing climates into disarray. Instead, the symphony plays on in balanced tempo. For those who pause to listen, the seasons are not only cycles of weather, but music for the soul. They remind life that rest follows growth, that silence follows song, and that every ending is also a beginning. Earth's tilt transforms physics into poetry, ensuring that the planet does not merely exist, it breathes, it hums, it sings in the fourfold rhythm of time. Listen closely to the shore, and the planet reveals one of its most enduring voices. The ocean never sleeps. Its waters rise and fall, curl and collapse, whisper and thunder, yet through all variation the sound is the same, eternal, unbroken, a murmur that has accompanied Earth since its youth. To hear it is to hear the slow pulse of the world itself. The ocean's voice is born of physics. Winds pass across the surface, transferring energy into ripples that grow into waves. The pull of the moon stretches whole seas, dragging them back and forth in a rhythm older than any life. Earth's rotation twists these movements into currents, great rivers within the sea, carrying warmth, nutrients, and life across the globe. Though immense and complex, this motion finds balance. It never halts, yet it never unravels into chaos. To stand at the edge of the sea is to feel the lullaby of tides. Waves advance in repetition, a slow percussion against the shore. The body responds instinctively. Heart beats slow, breathing softens, the mind settles into rhythm with the water. Scientists note that this effect is not mere imagination. The sounds of waves occupy a frequency range that soothes the human nervous system. Evolution may explain this, for our ancestors found safety where water was near and calm where nourishment was abundant. The hush of waves is not only sound, but memory written into biology. Beneath the surface, the oceans speak more quietly still. Currents transport dissolved oxygen, allowing fish to breathe, corals to flourish, ecosystems to thrive. In the abyssal depths, where sunlight never reaches, the water is motionless, hushed like a cathedral of silence. Even there, life persists luminous, delicate, otherworldly, nourished by the patience of the sea. The ocean does not pause. Its murmur is eternal. Long after human voices fade, waves will continue to shape the coast, tides will rise and fall, and the slow breathing of water will carry on. To rest by the sea is to align with Earth's oldest rhythm, the sound of its heartbeat made liquid. Look upward, and the first thing the eye greets is not the stars, nor the infinite dark, but a veil of color, a dome painted in the calmest shade of blue. This canopy is no illusion of the mind. It is the work of physics, of sunlight scattered by the very air we breathe. And yet its effect is deeply emotional, for to live beneath a blue sky is to live beneath calm. When sunlight enters the atmosphere, it encounters molecules of nitrogen and oxygen. These particles scatter shorter wavelengths, the blues and violets, far more efficiently than the longer reds. Though violet is scattered even more strongly, the human eye is less sensitive to it, and the mixture that results is the soft wash of blue that fills our days. What could have been a harsh, blinding white becomes instead a gentle diffusion, a balm for the senses. This scattering does more than paint the heavens. It ensures that light is evenly distributed, protecting life from the sun's fierce intensity. Without the atmosphere's filtering, Earth would be blasted by unmediated radiation, its surfaces seared, its shadows stark. Instead, the sky becomes a diffuser, transforming danger into serenity. The physics of color becomes the poetry of calm. The blue sky also carries time within it. As the sun lowers, light travels through more of the atmosphere, scattering away blue and leaving behind shades of amber, rose, and crimson. These sunsets and dawns, born of the same scattering, slow the world into contemplation. No wonder humans pause at twilight, watching as the sky lingers in painted silence. It is as if the planet itself whispers, "Rest, the day is ending. Rise, the day begins." Other planets do not share this gift. Mars, with its thin atmosphere, wears skies of butterscotch. The moon offers no veil at all, only the stark contrast of black and blinding white. But Earth, in its balance of gases and light, wears blue like a cloak of tranquility. The color of the sky is not only physics. It is the calmest backdrop for life, a reminder of stability above the chaos of weather and the turbulence of time. To gaze upward is to be reminded that we are sheltered, that above us stretches an infinite calm, endlessly renewed each dawn. Floating above the planet like shifting curtains, clouds drift in patient silence. They are transient, forming and dissolving within hours, yet their presence is a cornerstone of Earth's calm. To watch them is to witness slowness itself, the soft choreography of vapor carried by invisible winds. Their shapes shift with no urgency. Their shadows crawl gently across fields and seas. In their quiet movements, clouds embody a serenity that has soothed human eyes since the first gaze was lifted skyward. But beneath the poetry lies precision. Clouds are born when warm air rises, cools, and condenses into droplets or ice crystals. They appear as ephemeral sculptures, but they are also guardians. Acting as a blanket, they reflect sunlight back into space, preventing the Earth from overheating. At night, they trap warmth, ensuring that darkness does not bring a sudden plunge into deadly cold. In this way, clouds act like caretakers, softening the extremes of the sun's fire and the universe's chill. Different forms speak different moods. Thin cirrus clouds trail across the upper atmosphere like brushstrokes, delicate and silent. Towering cumulus swell like mountains of vapor, majestic yet serene. Even storms, though fierce in their moment, are followed by clearing skies where clouds dissolve into calmness once again. Each formation is temporary, yet the cycle of their return is eternal. For humanity, clouds have always been mirrors for thought. They inspire reflection, daydreams, and wonder. Children trace shapes of animals in their outlines. Poets see fleeting metaphors of time and impermanence. To lie beneath a drifting sky is to be reminded that nothing is fixed, yet everything returns. Without clouds, Earth would be stark, bare beneath the Sunday. With them, light is softened, shadows lengthened, landscapes painted in hues that soothe. The planet becomes livable, breathable, dreamlike. The hidden blanket of clouds is not merely weather, it is part of Earth's lullaby, a shifting veil that guards, shades, and whispers. Through their presence, the sky itself becomes a place of rest. In the vast stillness of Earth's surface, forests rise as green cathedrals. Their canopies breathe in unison, swaying gently in wind that carries both sound and silence. They are more than clusters of trees. They are temples of life itself, sanctuaries where the chemistry of air is continually renewed. To step beneath their shade is to enter a living rhythm, one that has pulsed quietly for hundreds of millions of years. At the core of this rhythm is photosynthesis. Within each leaf, sunlight meets chlorophyll, and through a delicate chain of reactions, carbon dioxide is transformed into oxygen. What emerges is not only life's fuel, but also balance. Every breath a human takes is tied to this invisible labor. Forests breathing out what we breathe in. It is an exchange so constant, so dependable, that it becomes background unnoticed, yet indispensable. Forests calm in other ways. They filter sound, softening noise into muffled echoes. They regulate temperature, shading the ground from the sun's glare and releasing moisture that cools the air. Rainforests, often called the lungs of the planet, exhale vapor that gathers into clouds, carrying rain across continents. In their quiet diligence, forests sculpt weather itself, ensuring balance not just for the trees, but for the planet. There is also serenity in their scale of time. Trees endure for centuries, some for millennia. They grow slowly, ring by ring, layer upon layer, standing as silent witnesses to ages passing. In their presence, human concerns seem small, softened by the patience of wood and leaf. To walk among forests is to be embraced by sound, the hush of leaves stirred by wind, the murmurs of streams winding through roots, the faint calls of unseen creatures. It is a symphony without conductor, yet perfectly orchestrated. Every note contributes to the sense of calm that has drawn humanity into forests for solace, reflection, and rest. Forests are not just habitats, they are breathing temples, quiet sanctuaries where Earth sustains its balance. Within their shade, one feels not merely the presence of life, but the steady rhythm of a planet breathing in harmony with itself. From the quiet sky descends one of Earth's most delicate gifts, snow. Each flake, born from vapor high in the atmosphere, crystallizes into geometry so precise, so intricate, that it becomes a tiny cathedral of ice. Yet it falls without sound, drifting slowly, blanketing the ground in silence so complete that the world itself seems to pause. Snow is not merely weather, it is mathematics falling from the sky, symmetry turned into calm. The physics of snow begins with cold air saturated with moisture. As water vapor freezes around dust particles, molecules arrange themselves into hexagonal lattices, guided by the rules of crystallography. No two flakes are alike, yet all share the same six-fold symmetry, a harmony dictated by the structure of water itself. This hidden order emerges naturally, proof that beauty can arise from the strictest laws of physics. As flakes gather, they soften landscapes, muffling sound, dimming color, slowing movement. A forest covered in snow becomes transformed footsteps muted, branches bowed in stillness, air heavy with quiet. For many, this silence is the essence of winter, a pause in the tempo of life. Even time seems slower under snow's hush, as though the world holds its breath. Snow also preserves. It blankets the ground, insulating soil and roots from deeper freezes. It stores water in frozen reservoirs, to be released in spring as rivers swell. Entire ecosystems rely on this patience, this slow storage of life's most precious resource. To watch snowfall is to see serenity embodied. Flake by flake, the sky drifts downward, erasing sharp edges, softening noise, inviting rest. Its calm is both visual and tactile. The cool touch of a flake on skin, the whiteness that turns landscapes into dreamscapes. The quiet mathematics of snow is a reminder that order can descend from chaos, that even in cold and darkness, beauty unfolds with infinite variety. Snow is Earth's whispered pause, a crystalline silence that turns the planet into a place of contemplation. Mountains rise not with haste, but with a patience that spans eras. To the eye, they are immovable giants, frozen in stone, silent as time itself. Yet their very existence tells of motion, of continents colliding, of forces so immense they push rock skyward until it touches the thin veil of the atmosphere. Mountains are Earth's monuments to slowness, guardians of stillness, sculpted by violence, now resting in quiet majesty. The Himalayas continue to grow, their peaks inching higher each year as tectonic plates press against one another. The Andes stretch like a spine along South America, lifted by the subduction of oceanic crust. The Alps, carved by glaciers, still stand in elegant silence. Each range holds in its stone the memory of upheaval, yet to those who walk among them, they offer calm. Peaks appear eternal, valleys unchanged, horizons steady against the sky. Time in the mountains flows differently. Human concerns diminish in scale beside cliffs that have endured for millions of years. A single snowfall, a passing storm, even a century of seasons, these are brief flickers against the patience of granite. To sit upon a mountainside is to be reminded that change can be measured not in hours but in ages, and that serenity is often born of endurance. Mountains also sustain life. They catch moisture from the sky, storing it in glaciers that release water slowly into rivers below. They anchor climates, create habitats, and offer refuge to species that thrive in silence. From their peaks, one sees Earth as a whole, plains stretching endlessly, clouds drifting beneath, horizons curving gently. The view is not chaos, but balance. In human culture, mountains have always symbolized stillness. Temples were built upon them, pilgrimages led upward, meditations deepened in their silence. Their scale invites humility, their permanence inspires reflection. To lie in their shadow is to feel protected. To climb their slopes is to touch the edges of eternity. Mountains that sleep in stone are reminders of Earth's patience. They do not rush, they do not falter. They stand, they breathe slowly in tectonic time, and they cradle the planet in their silent watch. Where mountains rise in solemn stillness, deserts spread in silence. Vast, golden, and seemingly endless, they are landscapes of pause, places where time slows and sound dissolves. To walk among dunes is to enter an ancient stillness, a quiet so profound it seems to belong not to Earth, but to some untouched realm beyond. The desert is shaped by wind, yet its voice is muted. Grains of sand, carried by currents of air, pile into dunes that shift slowly, sculpted into curves and waves. Though the wind may howl, the dunes themselves are silent, moving at a pace almost imperceptible. Across centuries, they migrate, erase valleys, and swallow ruins, but in the moment of the present, they stand motionless, serene. To the senses, deserts are paradoxes. Heat blurs the horizon into trembling mirages, while the nights drop into cold, so pure the stars blaze with merciless clarity. This stark alternation is not chaos, but rhythm, the daily breath of the desert, expanding and contracting with the Sunday. Life, though sparse, has tuned itself to this rhythm, cacti storing water with patience, reptiles waiting in burrows, nocturnal creatures emerging only when the air cools. Silence defines these landscapes. With little vegetation to rustle, little water to flow, the desert's soundscape is stripped to essentials: the whisper of wind across sand, the distant call of a bird, the faint patter of shifting grains. For humans, such silence can be overwhelming, yet also deeply calming. It is the silence of absence, a reminder that the world can exist without noise. Deserts also carry memory. They preserve fossils, footprints, and the remnants of ancient civilizations buried beneath sand. Time seems to pause here, holding echoes of the past in stillness. The desert's timeless pause teaches a truth. Serenity does not always come from abundance. Sometimes it is found in emptiness, in vast horizons where the mind has space to wander, and in silence so complete it becomes a meditation. The desert is Earth's slow exhalation, a vast canvas of stillness painted by the wind. Across the land, water flows in lines that wander. Rivers are the dreamers of earth, carving valleys, feeding forests, and singing endlessly as they journey from mountain to sea. Unlike the ocean's vast roar, rivers speak in smaller voices, the murmur of a brook, the steady rush of rapids, the gentle splash against a riverbank. Each sound is part of a language older than humanity, a song written in motion and time. Rivers begin in silence, often as trickles of meltwater released from glaciers, or springs bubbling quietly from underground aquifers. From these origins, they gather strength, merging with streams and tributaries, weaving a network that nourishes entire landscapes. Their flow shapes land itself, smoothing stones, cutting canyons, laying down fertile soil. Civilizations arose beside them because their constancy was reassurance. A river means water, food, passage, and life. There is serenity in their continuity. Unlike rain, which comes and goes, rivers remain. Even as seasons shift, they persist, adjusting their flow but never ceasing. To listen to a river is to hear permanence disguised as motion, the comfort of knowing that the stream which flowed yesterday will flow again tomorrow. The physics of rivers is simple yet profound. Gravity pulls water downhill, while friction slows its course, shaping meanders and curves. These bends are not imperfections but beauty, the river's way of easing tension, of transforming direct force into graceful arcs. In this sense, rivers embody patience, teaching that the quickest path is not always the most harmonious. Life gathers along their edges, forests thrive on their banks, animals drink from their pools, and humans find solace in their reflections. To sit beside a river is to feel time soften. The water moves forward, yet the mind drifts backward, inward, and still. Ultimately, rivers are not only journeys of water, but of memory. They remember glaciers, rains, and ancient storms. They carry whispers from mountains to seas. To hear them is to hear Earth's wandering thoughts, expressed in liquid motion. Rivers, as wandering dreamers, remind us that movement can be gentle, that persistence can be calm, and that even the most winding path can reach its destination in peace. Through all its rhythms, the seas, the winds, the turning of day and night, Earth remains remarkably stable. In a universe where chaos reigns, where stars explode, orbits decay, and planets collide, our world holds a rare calmness. This stability is not luck alone. It is written into the mechanics of orbit, into the harmony between Earth, the Sun, and the Moon. It is a quiet balance that shields life from cosmic turmoil. The Earth travels around the Sun at nearly 30 kilometers per second, yet we feel no motion, no turbulence. Gravity binds the planet into its path, an ellipse so steady that seasons recur with dependable precision. Too close to the Sun, and oceans would boil; too far, and seas would freeze. Earth's orbit rests in the habitable zone, a fragile ribbon where liquid water endures and life can thrive. This distance is no guarantee in the wider cosmos. Venus, just a little closer to the Sun, swelters beneath runaway heat, while Mars, just a little farther, lies frozen and barren. Stability is also written into the tilt of Earth's axis, anchored by the Moon, ensuring seasons remain predictable. Jupiter, vast and distant, plays its part as well, deflecting comets and asteroids that might otherwise shatter the calm. Even the arrangement of planets in the solar system contributes to Earth's serenity, a gravitational choreography that has kept our world steady for billions of years. There is poetry in this cosmic shelter. It is as though the solar system itself has conspired to grant Earth a gentle refuge amid the violence of space. While elsewhere stars collapse into black holes and galaxies collide in storms of fire, Earth orbits in silence, its balance preserved. This comfort of stability is more than a scientific fact. It is a foundation for existence. Every breath of calm air, every quiet night beneath stars, every dream that unfolds in safety, all are possible because Earth's orbit protects against chaos. Stability itself becomes a kind of lullaby, written in the geometry of the heavens. Patterns emerge everywhere on Earth, in clouds curling across the sky, in coastlines jagged against the sea, in forests spreading like veins across the land. At first glance, they appear chaotic, irregular, impossible to predict. Yet hidden within them is a deeper order, a geometry of repetition, fractals. This hidden symmetry shows that even in apparent disorder, the planet whispers calm through patterns of infinite echo. Fractals are structures that repeat at different scales. A fern's leaf mirrors the shape of the entire plant. A river's tributaries resemble the main stream, the branching of lightning, the veins of a leaf. Even the folds of the human lung all follow the same recursive law. These patterns soothe because they are both familiar and infinite, offering complexity without confusion. They are nature's way of balancing chaos with harmony. Clouds, for instance, seem shapeless, yet their edges reveal fractal repetition. Whether seen from above in satellite images or from below in the evening sky, their contours echo themselves, producing beauty from turbulence. Coastlines, too, are fractal. The more closely they are measured, the more detail appears. Small bays mirroring great inlets, tiny headlands repeating vast peninsulas. The closer one looks, the more the pattern continues, without end. Mathematically, fractals are linked to equations of chaos theory, where small changes ripple outward in complex yet ordered ways. Philosophically, they remind us that stillness and rhythm can exist even within turbulence. The eye finds rest in them because the mind recognizes the hidden order, even if unconsciously. Life has attuned itself to these forms. Forests grow in branching patterns to maximize sunlight. Rivers meander with fractal grace, distributing water across plains. Even heartbeat rhythms show fractal variability, sustaining life with patterns that echo nature's own. Hidden symmetry in chaos is Earth's quiet reassurance that beneath randomness lies balance, beneath turbulence lies repetition, and beneath all appearances of disorder lies a deeper calm. To see the world this way is to understand that serenity is not the absence of change, it is the presence of patterns that hold everything together. Beneath the continents and seas, deeper than the roots of mountains or the floors of oceans, there lies a furnace that never sleeps. The Earth's core, composed of molten iron and nickel, burns with a heat greater than the surface of the Sunday. Yet rather than chaos, this fire provides balance, a hidden warmth that sustains life in ways subtle, steady, and essential. This internal heat is a remnant of creation. When the planet formed from colliding fragments of rock and metal, immense energy was trapped within. Radioactive decay of elements such as uranium and thorium continues to feed it, releasing heat that keeps the core liquid and dynamic. Out of this unseen energy rises protection, stability, and renewal. The warmth beneath our feet drives plate tectonics. Without it, continents would stagnate, oceans would lose circulation, mountains would crumble without rebirth. Heat causes the mantle to convect, moving crustal plates in their slow drift across the globe. From this drift comes recycling of carbon, regulation of climate, and the long-term preservation of Earth's habitability. The hidden fire ensures that the surface remains alive. This same furnace powers the magnetic field, generated by the swirling motions of molten metal in the outer core. It is a shield against cosmic radiation, a silent guardian of atmosphere and life. The auroras that shimmer across polar skies are the visible art of this invisible engine, a reminder that the planet's heart is always beating. Yet despite its immense power, the warmth of the core is patient, It escapes only gradually, rising through rock, emerging in geothermal springs, geysers, and volcanic eruptions. These are the rare moments when Earth's hidden furnace reveals itself openly, but most of the time, it is quiet, unnoticed, working in secrecy. To walk upon the Earth is to walk upon warmth held in trust. Though the surface may feel cool, deep below lies a fire that has burned for billions of years and will continue to burn for billions more. The core is not a threat, it is a cradle, a steady source of energy that makes Earth a living planet rather than a frozen, silent stone. The warmth beneath our feet is Earth's hidden embrace, a furnace that does not consume but sustains, a fire that does not destroy but comforts. It is the unseen flame that allows the surface to rest. At the edges of night, near the poles where cold reigns and silence deepens, the sky sometimes awakens with color. Curtains of green ripple across the darkness, streaks of red and violet shimmer in arcs, and the heavens seem to move like a vast, living flame. These are auroras, celestial curtains, woven by invisible forces, transforming the violence of space into one of Earth's most serene displays. The aurora begins far away, on the surface of the Sunday there. Storms erupt, releasing streams of charged particles into space. These solar winds race across the void, threatening to strip atmospheres, disrupt magnetic fields, and batter planetary surfaces. But when they reach Earth, they are caught by its magnetic shield, guided along invisible lines that converge at the poles. The particles collide with atoms of oxygen and nitrogen in the upper atmosphere, and in that meeting, light is born. The physics is precise, yet the effect is dreamlike. Oxygen glows green and red, nitrogen paints blues and purples, and together they weave curtains that sway and fold like fabric in an invisible breeze. The lights flicker without sound, their silence amplifying their mystery. Those who witness them often describe not spectacle, but calm, a feeling that the sky itself is whispering. Auroras are more than beauty. They are visible reminders of Earth's hidden shield, the magnetic field that protects life from radiation. What could have been destructive is instead transformed into wonder. In this way, the aurora is the planet's most poetic defense, danger transfigured into art. For ancient peoples, auroras were messages from gods, ancestors, or spirits, symbols of guidance and awe. For modern science, they remain subjects of study, revealing the interactions between solar storms and planetary defenses. Yet beyond explanation, they remain profoundly emotional. To stand beneath an aurora is to feel the universe revealed in color, to sense the harmony between Earth and cosmos. They are flames that do not burn, rivers of light that do not flow, music painted in silence. Auroras are Earth's celestial curtains, drawn across the sky to remind us that even in the face of cosmic violence, serenity is possible. Life on Earth has never stood still. Across billions of years, it has flowed in waves, advancing, retreating, adapting. Yet despite the turbulence of evolution, the extinctions, the explosions of diversity, the endless competition for survival, there is a hidden serenity in its pace. Evolution is not frantic. It is a slow clock, ticking softly, marking time with patience that stretches beyond imagination. The earliest life began in oceans more than 3.5 billion years ago, tiny cells drifting in darkness. For millions of years, they changed only slightly, adjusting to currents, to chemistry, to the breath of sunlight. Then came multicellular organisms, plants, animals, and eventually humans, each stage unfolding not in sudden leaps but in gradual transitions. What feels like chaos in the moment becomes harmony when seen across ages. The rhythm of evolution is sculpted by time itself. Natural selection works quietly, favoring traits that fit environments, discarding those that do not. Each adaptation is a whisper, not a shout. The wings of birds, the petals of flowers, the eyes of mammals, all are products of countless generations, refining themselves with the patience of rivers carving stone. Mass extinctions came too, wiping away entire worlds of species. Yet even these catastrophes were followed by renewal, by new forms arising, filling the silence left behind. Evolution's clock does not stop. It resets, adjusts, continues. It is the resilience of life, written into the deep fabric of Earth's history. For humanity, this slow clock is both humbling and comforting. It reminds us that we are threads in a vast tapestry, participants in a process far greater than ourselves. Our species is young, a brief chapter in a long narrative, yet shaped by the same patient rhythm that sculpted ammonites, ferns, and whales. There is serenity in this continuity. Evolution shows that time is not an enemy but a companion, that growth does not always mean haste, and that change itself can be gentle. Life adapts in silence, generation after generation, following the soft clock of Earth's hidden design. Beyond the calm familiarity of our own world lies a solar system filled with extremes. Venus, cloaked in suffocating clouds of carbon dioxide, burns with temperatures hot enough to melt lead. Mars, dry and thin-aired, preserves scars of lost rivers, but offers little warmth. Jupiter and Saturn, titans of gas, churn with storms so vast they could swallow Earth whole. In contrast, our planet seems almost improbable, a refuge, a sanctuary, the most soothing cradle of life in the known cosmos. What makes Earth so different? Its balance. The atmosphere is neither crushingly thick nor perilously thin. Its surface is tempered by oceans that regulate climate, by forests that breathe, by soils that renew. Gravity is strong enough to hold air, yet gentle enough to allow movement and freedom. Its orbit falls in a zone where water remains liquid, neither frozen eternally nor boiled away. Everything conspires toward moderation, toward a calmness that makes life possible. The difference becomes more striking when imagined from afar. Astronauts who have seen Earth from space often describe it as fragile, glowing, and breathtakingly peaceful, a small blue jewel suspended in darkness. Against the chaos of barren planets and raging stars, Earth shines as a place of serenity. Its clouds swirl slowly, its seas glisten, its continents rest in quiet shades of green and brown. From that vantage, it is not a battlefield of storms and quakes, but a single organism, alive and balanced. Philosophically, Earth's uniqueness suggests that calm is not the default state of the universe. Violence dominates the cosmos. Explosions, collisions, collapses. Yet amid all of it, here is a planet where rivers murmur, skies glow blue, forests breathe, and creatures rest. Earth is not just habitable, it is hospitable, welcoming in its embrace. To compare Earth among the planets is to recognize its role as sanctuary. Here, serenity is not an illusion, it is a reality shaped by physics, chemistry, and time. Earth is the cosmic refuge, the place where the universe, for reasons still mysterious, has allowed life to find rest. Wrapped around Earth like a fragile skin is the atmosphere, a shield so thin it could vanish into space if not for gravity's embrace. From the surface, it feels infinite, stretching beyond sight. Yet in reality, it is delicate, a layer only a few hundred kilometers deep, protecting us against the lethal emptiness of space. Its presence is the difference between serenity and silence, between life and lifeless stone. The atmosphere does not merely provide air to breathe, it is a barrier. Without it, ultraviolet radiation would strike directly, stripping molecules apart. Meteors would reach the ground as fire and ruin instead of burning to harmless streaks of light. Cosmic rays, born in distant supernovae, would rain upon Earth unchecked. Instead, this fragile veil absorbs, deflects, and softens, transforming destruction into balance. Its thickness is perfectly tuned. On Venus, a crushing atmosphere creates a greenhouse so powerful that heat is trapped with suffocating force. On Mars, the air is too thin to hold warmth or shield against radiation. Earth, in contrast, rests in a delicate middle ground. Here, gases balance in harmony. Nitrogen steadying the mix, oxygen fueling life, carbon dioxide and water vapor regulating temperature with precision. Yet, the atmosphere is not only defense, it is art. It scatters light into the calming blue of daytime, paints horizons with crimson at sunset, and spreads the hush of dawn across landscapes. It carries the sound of rivers and birdsong, the fragrance of forests and oceans, the coolness of breezes that drift across the skin. It is as much experience as it is shield. In its fragility lies its wonder. A thin film of gases, invisible to the eye, allows oceans to remain liquid, climates to remain gentle, and life to persist. To sleep beneath the atmosphere is to rest under protection, a reminder that serenity often comes from things unseen. The fragile shield of atmosphere is Earth's most precious guardian. It is not strong in mass or thickness, but in balance, a whisper of gases that separates chaos from calm, emptiness from life. Beneath the waves, beyond the reach of sunlight, lies a realm of stillness. The deep sea is a place where silence dominates, where pressure is immense, and where darkness is complete. Yet within this silence, life persists, not in frenzy, but in calm resilience. The deep ocean is Earth's hidden sanctuary, a world where serenity is not an absence of life, but a different rhythm of existence. At depths beyond 200 meters, sunlight fades to blue twilight, and below 1,000 meters, it disappears altogether. Here, the ocean is black, timeless, seemingly motionless. Yet this darkness is not barren. Strange creatures glow with their own light bioluminescent signals drifting like stars in water. Their glimmers are slow and patient, designed not for spectacle, but for survival, conserving energy in a place where food is scarce. Sound, too, changes in the deep. With no wind, no crashing waves, the sea becomes a cathedral of quiet. Whale songs travel for thousands of kilometers, their low frequencies resonating through the water like distant hymns. For humans who have descended into this abyss, the silence is overwhelming, a calm so profound it feels infinite. The physics of the deep sea adds to its stillness. Temperatures hover just above freezing, currents move sluggishly, guided by differences in salinity and heat. The immense pressure, hundreds of times greater than at the surface, compresses life into forms that move slowly, deliberately, conserving energy. In this way, the environment itself enforces patience. And yet, this silence sustains Earth. The deep sea stores vast amounts of carbon, regulating the planet's climate. It serves as a reservoir of nutrients, releasing them gradually to feed surface ecosystems. Its quiet cycles maintain balance on a planetary scale. To imagine the deep sea is to imagine serenity, embodied in darkness, a world that whispers not through sound, but through stillness. Life thrives here not in haste, but in adaptation, teaching that calm can exist even in the harshest conditions. The silence of the deep ocean is not emptiness, but a song too slow, too deep for hurried ears to hear. Time moves differently when measured by Earth itself. For humans, it is marked by days, seasons, and generations. For the planet, however, time flows in vast stretches. Millions of years to lift a mountain, tens of millions to carve a canyon, hundreds of millions to shift continents. This patience is Earth's secret companion, a rhythm too slow for eyes to see, yet always present, shaping serenity in silence. Consider the Grand Canyon. To a visitor, it is a single landscape, carved and still. Yet its walls tell a story written in stone. Layers of sediment laid down over nearly 2 billion years, compressed, uplifted, then cut open by the persistent flow of the Colorado River. Each stratum is a page of Earth's memory, each color a record of environments long vanished. What appears eternal is, in truth, an accumulation of moments, stacked patiently across time. Glaciers embody this patience too. They creep forward at mere centimeters per day, yet sculpt valleys, polish rock, and reshape continents. Their pace is imperceptible, but their legacy is monumental. To watch a glacier is to see the slowness of time itself, frozen motion that reminds us that change does not require haste. Even life has been sculpted by geological patience. The drift of tectonic plates created barriers that isolated species, guiding evolution into countless forms. The rise and fall of sea levels opened and closed pathways for migration, shifting ecosystems slowly but profoundly. Earth's slow rhythm became the metronome to which evolution danced. Philosophically, this patience is both humbling and soothing. It shows that what appears permanent is transient, yet what feels fleeting can be part of something enduring. Human lifespans are brief flickers compared to the mountains, but within those flickers, we share in the same flow of time. To rest upon Earth is to rest upon slowness. Every stone, every valley, every coastline is a reminder that time is not always measured in urgency. Sometimes it is measured in patience, in layers, in rhythms that span beyond memory. Earth's calm is not the absence of change, but the presence of change, so slow it feels eternal. Time as Earth's secret companion is not a clock ticking loudly, but a whisper unfolding gently, reminding all life that serenity can be found in waiting. Beneath the soil, beneath the weight of stone and sediment, lie the remnants of vanished worlds. Fossils, shells pressed into limestone, bones turned to mineral, leaves imprinted in shale are fragments of lives long gone, preserved in silence. They do not speak in voices, yet they tell stories of oceans that once covered deserts, of forests that thrived where tundra now lies, of creatures that walked beneath alien skies millions of years before humanity appeared. Fossils are Earth's memory, a whisper of time that never forgets. Each fossil forms through patience. When an organism dies, it is buried beneath sediment. Over centuries, minerals replace bone or wood, turning fragile life into enduring stone. Pressure and time carve permanence. Where once there was fragility, what was fleeting becomes eternal. These relics are not merely curiosities, they are pages in the planet's vast archive, revealing how life has changed with climates, continents, and catastrophes. Trilobites speak of ancient seas, ammonites of vanished oceans, petrified forests of climates warmer than today. Dinosaurs leave behind skeletons that once carried thunder across the land, while the delicate imprint of a fern speaks of forests swaying in winds long stilled. Each fragment is a record of survival, adaptation, and eventual silence. For humans, fossils are both scientific and philosophical. They show us that life has always been temporary, that species rise and vanish, and that we, too, are part of this continuum. Yet there is comfort in their endurance. While individual lives fade, memory persists in stone, preserved in forms that rest quietly beneath layers of earth. Fossils remind us that Earth does not forget. Its surface may shift, its oceans may rise and fall, its skies may change, but deep within, it preserves echoes of everything that has lived. To touch a fossil is to touch a story millions of years old, a moment of calm continuity that bridges past and present. The memory of fossils is a lullaby of time. They show that even in endings, there is preservation, and even in silence, there is record. Earth remembers in stone, and through that memory, it teaches patience, resilience, and the calm of continuity. The balance of Earth has never been permanent. It is fragile, a harmony maintained by subtle forces that can be unsettled. For most of its history, the planet has drifted between ice ages and warm periods, between extinction and renewal, yet within this balance, life has found serenity. Today, however, that balance faces new challenges, the rapid changes of climate that threaten to disturb the calm rhythms Earth has so patiently preserved. The atmosphere, oceans, forests, and ice are woven together in delicate feedbacks. Carbon dioxide and methane, though trace gases, regulate the planet's warmth by trapping heat. Oceans absorb and release energy, spreading it across hemispheres. Ice reflects sunlight, keeping temperatures cool. Forests inhale carbon, exhaling oxygen into the air. For millions of years, these cycles have kept Earth in equilibrium, allowing life to flourish. Now, human activity presses upon this balance. Fossil fuels release carbon faster than forests and seas can absorb. Ice sheets retreat, oceans warm, storms intensify. The very systems that once offered calm are shifting. Where glaciers once held silence, they now collapse in thunderous cascades. Where forests once breathed steadily, they now shrink under the weight of deforestation. The lullaby of balance trembles, uncertain. And yet, Earth endures with resilience. Just as it has survived impacts, extinctions, and upheavals in the past, the planet will adapt. The question is not whether Earth will survive, but what form its serenity will take, and whether humanity will still rest within it. To preserve the fragile balance is to preserve not only ecosystems, but the rhythms that calm us, the hush of forests, the murmur of seas, the stability of seasons. This fragility carries a lesson. Serenity is not indestructible, it must be protected. The calm we inherit is both gift and responsibility, shaped by billions of years yet vulnerable to decades of neglect. To recognize Earth's balance as fragile is to honor it, to safeguard it, to ensure that its lullaby continues for those yet to dream beneath its sky. Earth's fragile future balance is a reminder that calm is not guaranteed. It must be cherished, for once lost, it may never return. From the surface, Earth feels immense. Continents stretching beyond horizons, oceans rolling without end. Yet seen from space, the planet is small, delicate, and astonishingly serene. Astronauts describe a profound shift when gazing upon it from orbit, the overview effect. A sudden recognition of Earth not as a collection of nations or divisions, but as a single jewel, glowing against the vast emptiness. From that vantage, Earth is the most tranquil object imaginable. The blackness of space is absolute, but in its darkness, Earth glows with color. Oceans reflect sapphire, continents bloom in greens and browns, clouds swirl in white spirals like strokes on a canvas. It is not a harsh glow, but a soft one, like a lantern burning in silence. Against the violence of supernovae, the collapse of black holes, or the storms of gas giants, Earth appears impossibly calm, suspended in delicate equilibrium. Photographs from space, the famous blue marble, the distant pale blue dot, reveal this serenity with startling clarity. Earth is a world of water and air, balanced perfectly to sustain life. From space, no boundaries are visible, no conflicts apparent. There is only wholeness, a fragile oasis adrift in the cosmic desert. Cosmically, this serenity is rare. Most planets are barren, hostile, or chaotic. To find one wrapped in blue, breathing forests, whispering with rivers, and glowing with clouds, is extraordinary. For this reason, Earth has become not just a planet, but a symbol of fragility, of calm, of sanctuary. Philosophically, to see Earth as a tranquil jewel is to understand our place in the universe. We rest within a cosmic storm, shielded by balances so delicate they seem miraculous. From above, Earth does not shout. It glows softly, inviting reflection, reminding all who see it that serenity is possible even in the vastness of chaos. In the cosmic perspective, Earth is not only home, it is a refuge, a place of peace in a universe that seldom offers it. At the end of this long journey, after oceans, forests, deserts, and skies, Earth offers one final truth. It is a lullaby. Every force, every rhythm, every balance we have traced is part of a greater song, one that has played since the planet's birth, and one that continues, soft and unbroken, even as stars burn and galaxies collide. The final whisper of Earth is not loud. It is not the crash of a wave or the eruption of a mountain. It is gentler, woven into the background of every moment. It is the murmur of tides rocking with lunar pull, the sigh of winds moving across open fields, the hush of snow settling on stone, the quiet patience of fossils holding memory in the dark. Earth does not demand attention, it invites stillness. Its serenity is not a mask over chaos, but a truth beneath it, the reassurance that amid all turbulence, balance persists. The magnetic field continues to pulse, invisible and constant. The rotation continues to divide day from night. The orbit continues its steady path around the Sunday. These are not accidents, but continuities. Reminders that calm is not absence, but presence. For humanity, Earth is not only a home, but a teacher. It shows that serenity can coexist with change, that patience is stronger than force, that time itself is a companion rather than an enemy. To listen to Earth is to be reminded that existence is not only struggle, but also rest, not only survival, but also wonder. And so, as the planet turns, as oceans murmur, as skies darken into sleep, Earth continues to sing. Its song is soft, but endless, a lullaby carried through winds, through rivers, through the very breath of life. To rest upon this planet is to rest within its music. To dream beneath its skies is to dream within its whisper. And to awaken here is to know that serenity is not distant, it is already beneath our feet, above our heads, within our lungs. Earth's final whisper is this: you are safe, you are home, you may rest. And now, as the story closes, let the pace soften. Let words lengthen into gentler echoes, their rhythm unhurried, their weight as light as falling snow. Earth has spoken in waves and winds, in stone and silence, in patterns of time too vast for measure, yet all of it resolves here, in this stillness. Imagine lying beneath a sky fading from blue to deep velvet, stars emerging one by one. The air cools, leaves stir in the hush of night. Far away, waves press against a distant shore, repeating their ancient refrain. Nothing urgent moves, nothing loud intrudes, only the patient breathing of a planet, steady and calm. The ground beneath is warm with the memory of sun, the air above cool with the promise of rest. Around you, the invisible shield of atmosphere keeps the night safe, cradling every dream. You are held by gravity, soothed by silence, wrapped in the rhythm of Earth itself. Let the mind drift with rivers, wander across deserts, soar with auroras, sink into the deep sea. Let every image dissolve into stillness. Earth's story is not a tale of endings, but of continuities. Its lullaby does not cease when ears close. It plays on, endlessly, softly, through every dawn and every nightfall. And as you rest, remember this: the planet beneath you has carried life for billions of years. It will carry you too, through sleep, through silence, through dreams. The stars above may burn and fade, galaxies may drift apart, but Earth will remain, whispering gently, singing quietly, its final gift always the same peace. Good night and sweet dreams.